In any case, first of all, hi. Um, Welcome to this commentary. Yeah, this is a Muramasa Rebirth post RTA in Japan, Winter 2025. Um, Run. It's a commentary for this run that I've been wanting to do. Because people do that. They just go and have commentaries about their own runs because it's a big run that they did. And so I am here. Let's talk about how everything came to be. And first of all, let's talk about how the entire submission processing thing is. So to note, for what was basically the my first RTA in Japan submission. Literally, I submit this. This was my first time I submitted to RTA in Japan, and I actually got in, which blew my mind. And you have to imagine that a lot of people submit, but also you only have two games and two categories per game, which means you're very tight in terms of what you want to showcase. Now, obviously, it makes sense because a lot of the staff at RT in Japan, there's not a lot of staff at RT in Japan, which is very mind-boggling and boggling. When you consider that, like, GDQ has had credits that, like, there's so many people working at GDQ or something like that. Something like RT in Japan feels like, grassroots in comparison. So it was very funny. But also, it makes sense that if they have to go through every run, they're gonna need a little bit, like, they're gonna need to limit the amount of of submissions that they get. At the time, I submitted Muramasa and Samurai Maiden. I think that Muramasa was certain I only submitted Okoi. But I think that for Samurai Maiden, I submitted any percent and um I wanna say mainstream missions, normal with like an upgrade to demonic. But basically, I put Muramasa Rebirth as a. This game has been a big seller, like big game in Japan. Lots of good energy. It's a game that I love to bits, and it's also a game that I just wanted to, you know, make to have shine on a lot of stages. I have been talking about how I want this game to be at, I don't know, like so many things. I want this game to be at GDQ. I want this game to be at other big marathons. So it's a really big, fun games that I actually want to share with people. And I was really like 5 years ago, a man named Godai Bito, uh, actually did the first run of Muramasa at an event at a RTA in Japan, and the Mad Lad actually did Momohime on Shigurui difficulty, which is ridiculous. If you're not aware, Shigurui is the um one health mode. You only have 1 HP, and so basically the moment you break your sword, you take damage out of nowhere, you just die. That doesn't mean you're immune. You kind of are immune to poison and burning, but it still is like a very dangerous thing. And I do intend on actually getting trying to do Shigurui for Momohime at some point. It's just that it takes a lot of work, and also I've been doing other things in the meantime. But yeah, basically, I was like, people like that run. I kind of want to take the energy of that. Obviously, my run was going to be less interesting because one, it's 40 minutes compared to the original game. But also, I think that I kind of messed some people up because people thought that the game was so broken now that we actually managed to get Momohime down to 40 minutes or something like that, which is ridiculous. This game does not get broken in any way. We have not found anything that breaks it. Even Tassers have only gone as so far as to manage RNG and like doing super fast strats on combat, but nothing else. even TAS is not on the sub-hour mark, which is already ridiculous. But outside of that, yeah, just in general, I kind of benefited from people going, "Hey, Muramasa is back," which is amazing, which is ridiculous. People like who would think that Muramasa would be back at this point in time 5 years ago, and also, people who did play the game were like, "Yo, Okoi, that's so hype," and yeah, this is why we ended with almost 50k people watching my run, which, yes, it is frightening. Some runs at GDQ get to the 50 mark. It is unbelievable how RTA in Japan always seems to hang out at the 25 to 30 mark. The 25k to 30k mark. It's ridiculous. And I got 50k people to watch my run, which I don't know how many actually like fully watched it and everything, because attention spans, I totally understand. But yeah, I was very afraid at the time of. So I am very happy, but at the same time, So quickly to mention, yeah. So this run was done on the 28th of December. I don't remember specifically the time. I put 2:40 p.m. CET, but I believe that we were basically like it was basically 3 p.m. I want to say. But this is how it felt to me. Like my brain was completely broken because we were waiting for so long, and the Lucifer can attest to there was a lot of time in between runs before Sonokuni, I think. I think Sonokuni was before us, and then like between my runs there was like 20 minutes of like waiting time because and this isn't true. And Sawayoshi, if you're actually around, Sawayoshi had an audio issue. For some reason, every time Sawa gets to do something with RTA in Japan, audio breaks. So yeah, blame Sawa on this one. But no, for real, big love to Sawa. Sawa was amazing. They took everything about the run very quickly, and I was very excited to share my game. It was a fair bit of downtime. I was vamping on the English restream. Yeah, totally. Totally, Lucifer. You did like a good job of making sure people were, entertained in the meantime. But yeah. Outside of that, I will say the prepping, the entire thing, it did take an hour and something to prep, but also, damn, I got to meet so many Japanese people during like just that 1 hour. I don't remember all of their names. I'm very sorry. I really tried to remember everyone's names, but there was so many people. Like even someone at like in the middle just started, "Hey, I'm doing audio tech," like in English, where it was not prompted. I was very surprised, and I'm very glad that they tried to speak in English. But also, as I try to do my best with Japanese, I actually understand a good bit of Japanese. I don't understand everything, and so I am very glad that Sawa was here to translate sometimes. But a lot of the time, I was like, "Yeah, I can do that," because I can kind of get from context clues. There was the few moments where I was like, "Sawa, I don't understand. Can you please translate?" Which is totally fair. To be honest, I am not a active Japanese speaker, nor like, learner. I want to return to learning Japanese more often, but I have still like my remains from when I did my studies at university. So yeah. Outside of that, yeah, no, people were super cool. Everything leading up to the run, everyone was super kind and very, very understanding and trying their best to do anything audio related. Because that, for some reason, that was the kind of the mood of the run. Audio issues. My tech check was rife with audio issues. For a good amount of time, there was no idea, no sound were coming because FF Opus, which is usually the good quality thing, was not working at all. So Fun times. For anyone who is doing audio stuff and like looks into OBS, please tell them to solve the freaking FF Opus codec. It does not work. But with all of this, let's actually go into the run. Yes, you're gonna hear me talk in Japanese. I'm gonna be very cringy, but it's okay. We are all here to cringe together and do our best. Also, yes, I am not on the YouTube page. That's because I would rather not have to mess with YouTube in that situation. So let's actually go into it. I'm gonna lower. Audio is good. Let's go for it. So imagine that you're thrown into the middle and you just have to say words. That's always frightening when I have a run like this, especially on a big event.
Alright, hello everyone. 今回解説はですね、Sawayoshiが務めさせていただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。
Oh my god, so I am so happy that Sawa was with me. So obviously we make new run. We're on Muso because I don't think the Shigurui is actually available to the DLC. I have not seen anyone ever do the Shigurui, so yeah. I do like the camera source missing on the IJ stream. That's good. Yeah, it's actually super cool. It's if I remember correctly, in the event, it is usually like you're gonna be on camera, but at least you can have a mask to, you know, hide your face and everything. And also, costumes are readily allowed. Like, there's been so many runs where there's been like things allowed, and they just don't care. I know from people talking to me about like the GDQ experience that this is not the same for GDQ. Like, you have to pre-approve shit for fun stuff. So I am very surprised that they just don't care and they will try to make it happen. This is probably why you have the hour-long prep time, because you need to do, you know, costume change and everything. But let's continue. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Also, yes, there is some delay. Unfortunately, because of my timing, I couldn't do differently. It's how it works, and I am sorry for that. I don't know why there's a difference in the audio. You would have thought that they had, like, an indication that there was gonna be issues, but yeah. Anyway, the usual. We're playing as Mike because adorable. I love her. God, she is so cute. And here's Okoi. God, she does not deserve what's gonna happen to her. But yeah. What was very impressive about Sawa's commentary is that they took everything, like, and did a wonderful script, lining up everything that I mentioned about the game. So first, two assassins. I think that the two assassins were pretty okay. I got a lot of fun bullying my first few inputs on the game, but. If you're aware, like, two assassin strats are basically try to group them and deal damage together so that you limit your amount of attacks, but also I'm trying to kind of separate them in sometimes so that I have one unit that is kind of leading in health so that when they get to the final gauge, they're not, like, overwhelming me with supers all the time. Which I think is, like, an issue from the game. Like, it's not supposed to be doing this. It's just that for some reason, they're, in their CPU behavior, they just want to do their special way more often when they are lower health. It becomes kind of ridiculous, and this is why I'm trying to manage this part. But here, I think that I do a very good job of juggling them and doing as much damage as I can. I don't remember the time end on this, but I think it was pretty much on par. But yeah, God. Sometimes I watch my runs sometimes, and I'm like, wow, how am I doing this fast? It does not look like I should be going this fast. Two assassins. Unfortunately, it didn't grab the Red Assassin with the EI attack. Yeah. So if you're not aware, like, this is also the kind of section where I kind of explain everything about the game, because the two assassins are pretty simple. They're just two bosses that are samurai. They do a lot of they do a lot of blocking your attacks until you break their blades. And yeah, it just... At this point I was kind of already like, I think I locked in, but I was still full of stress. Because I was like... Also, that juggle, this should not have happened. I did not realize that there was a back hitbox on that attack. It's very funny. Okay. So here, unfortunately, I'm still not good at dealing with them when they are in the next to the wall. Yeah, that is unfortunate. I really wish they didn't do that. But here I decide, let's go Avatar and showcase Avatar immediately. Because I also wanted to break their blades immediately and kind of deal all the damage to the enemy. Toakaka swings on this character. I believe that Okoi is way better than Toakaka. Yeah, hi father, welcome. But yeah. At this point, I managed to separate them. I managed to make sure that one of them died before, so I don't lose time on more specials. Yeah, full 14. That is pretty good in general. I'm very good. You can hear that I'm stressing the fuck out. I am literally sighing the entire time. Like, sigh of relief, because I'm like, oh my god, I actually did the boss fight without messing up badly. I do not do well when it's big events. Small events, I am extremely chill, and you can tell from like Lucifer or like other people being in my doing my comms that when it's small marathons, I actually started to very much chill the fuck out. I am sure that when it's gonna be Fatales in 2 months, I'm gonna be stressing heavily. A little bit of story time. Wakamiya is terrible. We hate Wakamiya. Hi Larry, my own cat. Dude, apart from that... sorry. Apart from that one thing in Musashi, the run went pretty well. Yeah, to be honest, like, I actually do not know. And we talked about it with Sawa. We'll come to it when it happens, but I will talk about the one thing that happened, and I'm still like, yeah. Really... Like, what? Huh? How is this possible? Anyway, let's return. But yeah, really fun time to go through doing the save shrine. Shrine save, as a reminder, shrine saves actually help for teleporting back with the bronze mirrors once we are... and they don't get overridden by any other saves that are not done at any shrines. By saves that are not done at shrines. So, yeah, pretty much a very useful time to be using. Also, very funny that my first encounter was the boar, because I did say to Sawa, boars are not a... Like, they are a rare encounter. I don't remember the rates specifically, but it's a rare encounter. You don't usually get too many of those compared to the others. Also, gambling on Mika Skip. Come on, Mika Skip. We got it! Let's go! Mika Skip is done! Okay, so... Oh, Larry, please. Not now. My Mika wants to tell me things. But basically, Mika Skip is one of the silliest skips, and this was not found by me. This was found by Nick Math, the previous world record holder. And... basically, you turn into Mika, and Mika has a smaller hitbox, so you have less chances of getting hit on the frog screen, on the frog active combat screen. Little Larry, big voice. Yeah, he's always big voice. Now I realize it is 9:30. We're gonna feed him in the sec. But yeah, basically Mickey Skip is always a gamble. It's not a confirmed 100% like clear. You will have to hope that the frogs do not do like I think it's two. There's two scenarios where you actually get hits, but those are pretty often like they're not the ones that you get usually. You get other patterns. So this is why here it was totally fine. I was not that afraid. I think I just went in and was like, yeah, it's fine. We can just go for it and not bother. But I was still ready to like Sawa yelling into my ears of no, Mika's gift didn't happen. No, it would have been terrible, but it does happen. So yeah, let's actually continue. By the way, again, if you have any questions, do ask. Anyway, another active combat. This one, I am glad I actually did it properly. It's so hard to do it properly, but it does work well when it happens. Oh god, Tengus. We had so many, during practice, there was so many encounters where Tengus are just terrible. Let's be fair, Tengus are probably the worst enemies to fight when you are in the like, when you don't have the hot pots. But there we go. I did manage to get a good fight, even if it was a little bit slow. Yeah. More progression. Yeah, this is the rice. I don't know why. I like to pick up the rice as a joke. But this is the pellets, which... pellets very useful when you don't think about it. Unfortunately, I actually didn't take them at all, so it didn't really end up mattering. Alright, Surga. Surga, I mean, is pretty standard. I remember it not having any issues. More Tengus, which, oh my god, I wish I didn't have this many Tengus, but thankfully this one actually ended up being very good. God did I think I was not gonna get a good one here. But yeah. And we're reaching the cabbages. So Sawa and I were talking about the translation because we're both translators, and they're like they actually do like Japanese translation as a work like as a job. And basically you have to imagine that at some point Sawa asks me to play the game in Japanese so we can like practice. And in the middle of the run, Sawa just goes, wait, they translated to cabbage? Which, it's not a cabbage, actually. It's hakusai, which is not cabbages. But they did put cabbage into the Japanese, into the English translation, which I think was part of the original translation on the Wii version. And I think that it kind of couldn't really touch that thing, so they had to accept it. Because even the cabbage stew is a wrong translation. It's actually supposed to be a sort of hot pot with cabbage, with like some greens in it. And somehow, like, Sawa really wanted to talk about it because it was very funny, which I agree, it's very funny for translation nerds. But yeah, out of nowhere, I'm like, okay, this is weird stuff that they did. Why did they do it like that? It doesn't make sense. And yeah, we both agreed this doesn't make sense. So yeah. But also, yeah, Vanillaware, food, amazing, always the same thing. Hakusai or Napa cabbage, yeah. It's a very specific cabbage. So a reminder, plus 15 in strength for that strength boost. It's very powerful. It's very potent. This is literally what makes the run possible at such high speeds. This is also literally the strat that is used in the early game of Momohime, so you know what? Optimal strats.
砂浜のどんどんと進んでいきますね。これ忍者のエンカウントですね。忍者のエンカウントはワンチャンそちらが Also, usually I don't do the eating this early, but I actually wanted to do it early because I was kind of fearing that something would happen. So I actually thought it was a good idea to do this. Also, here we're reaching Kai. There's not a lot to talk about in Kai, so I'm gonna quickly let you go. There's gonna be the bronze mirror in a sec. I'm gonna feed the boy as the run goes forwards. We will meet up when I'm in Musashi. カラス天狗をくぐり抜けて聖堂の鏡を手に入れます。これが、今後また大事になってきます。あ、ちょっと面倒だけどこれいいですね。はい、居合切りかつ、白菜鍋の効果がついた居合切りで一発と。これが居合切りの力ですね。でここからちょっとした、平原になりますと。どんどんと進んでいきましょう。ちょっと暇な時間があるので、ジュピさんの紹介をしようと思います。ジュピさんは、フランスの方で、彼女はですね、様々なゲームを幅広く走られており、ヤールズライジング、世界の遊び大全、51などのゲームで高記録を残しています。こちらはですね、スピードラン .com を確認したら出てきます。普段は、フランス語圏、英語圏で活動されており、自分が主催させていただいている英語リストリームでもお世話になっております。日本語圏でのイベント出場は初なので、皆さん応援しましょう。Okay, I came back now, and yes, we're gonna be talking about this. So, apparently it's a common... Yeah, they just said Yaz Rising, and I'm gonna talk about it. So basically, at some point, Sawa wanted to do an introduction of who I am. I will say. Don't worry. But basically, Sawa wanted to do a little introduction of myself because it was my first RTA in Japan, so people don't know me. Who am I? What am I doing? And apparently it's a common thing in Japanese events to mention the country you're from. Which, my country is not that much of a secret. I tend to prefer saying I'm a European runner, but because I speak in English most of the time, and I do my streams in English, but yes, I am French, and apparently that caught the intention of a lot of people, which is very interesting. So yeah, we were kind of talking about what would fit into the introduction, and at some point we had to talk about a little bit of the games in question. And Sawa decided to look at my SRC page, and I said probably the game that I'm most known for is Yaz Rising, because Yaz Rising is the game where I run almost everything. Yaz Rising is the first big event, first run that I did at a big event. And it's kind of how I grew into who I am right now. So yeah, Sawa went with, I run Yaz Rising, and I actually run Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, which, yes. Pro Collection went never. I'm never doing that. That's your turf. I am to be honest, Yaz Rising is definitely your turf now. I am so not good at this game. But yeah, basically Yaz Rising and Clubhouse Games are the games I'm known for, which at the time I didn't run much Clubhouse Games, but also I am the first hero music runner, and also I am pretty much known for doing the category extensions stuff. So yeah, should be watched? Probably, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm not watched on some games, and I'm very watched on some games. But also it comes with the nature of I like a lot of games and I want to run a lot of games, so it's difficult for me to not be like, oh, I'm a little washed. To be honest, I think if I actually de-rusted and I was doing Yaz Rising most of the time, I would probably go back to my previous level, but otherwise, nah. If I continue how I'm doing, I'm not that good. And to be honest, I like speedrunning as a fun time and like as a thing that I like to do, not truly as like a thing I want to grind. So yeah. Ooh, ooh, he's so excited. I can hear the Larry. But yeah. Just in general, I am yeah, French runner, European runner, and this was my first Japanese event, which also ended up being my first RTA in Japan run. So very frightening at the time, but yeah, pretty fun. And you know what? At some point, you do have to introduce someone who is not speaking much because yeah, I am not. I would not be able to do what Sawa did. Even if Sawa had a script, I would not be able to do what they did. So I'm very happy that Sawa got to introduce myself. Got to introduce me and like we had a lot of fun. Let's continue. I Nightbot announcing everything that I am about right now.
いいですね。円環ともスイスイと進められています。で、霧深くなってしまい、この先には、武蔵ありますね。二幕と出てきて、武蔵は江戸に、武蔵は江戸の妻釜藩邸へ宝の茶碗を届けるとありましたね。で、忍者との戦闘です。また言いますが、ここは煙玉を落としてほしい。
I don't know if you can hear Larry just going around and like being very excited. Yeah, Musashi. Usual point where the food runs out, which is kind of the case here. Buying the Montes gauntlets and the Magatama. I remember when Lucifer had to ask me, "Hey, how is it shown in Japanese? How do you write the Ember Magatama and the smoke bombs in Japanese? Because it's kind of yeah." Also, I am so sorry to Sawa. At first, we were intending on getting the training section immediately. 攻撃プラス、お恋の攻撃プラス3、お恋の攻撃プラス4、そして魂魂その1を拾いました。And she's dealing so much damage. But yeah, at first I was doing the training at the first time, like in Suruga, but I was like, nah, I don't want to spend time in the menu, so I actually went to the training way later than usual. Which I think is the kind of endgame situation of this run. I should not be spending this much time in training, so this is why I'm actually limiting the times I'm going into training. The big one would be here in Musashi, because in Musashi, I have to equip the Mantis gauntlets, and so it's just a better thing to equip the creator at this point.
別のエリアがあります。こちらがですね、DLC エリア、本編にはない DLC のみ進むエリアとなっております。まだまだ
Also, yes, this is a DLC only area. I am not wrong in saying this because you literally can only access this with the character in question.
演歌しないですね。ランスいいですね。
I do not know what Larry is doing outside, but I'm gonna.
レア演歌のはずなんですけどね。
Also, I think it was kind of a joke between me and Sawa that every time a boar appeared, I had to say, you know, this. Because I had to mention, yes, it's a boar, it's just outside of the screen. Because when it's a boar, I just do the boar strat, and usually you don't see the boar. Also, I love differences in strategies when you have EI and not EI. Very funny that I had two encounters that are literally the same. Very funny at that point. Also, wow, I did not think people could hear my controller at that point.
刀を削らないといけないのでちょっと面倒です。
It's pretty loud, actually.
入れられました。これ強いです。琥珀の勾玉の効果を説明しますと、霊力ゲージを1キャラ分のね霊力ゲージを、半分
Yeah, he spelled firstly. Yes.
後半のボス戦で非常に大事になりますね。お、いいですね。居合切りで一発。
I.
ここもですね、目的地まで遠いので。
We're closing in onto the sore point of the Musashi DLC zone, which, yes, I will address.
2025は国境なき医師団を支援しているチャリティーイベントです。皆さんのささやかな寄付で世界は回り続けます。そしてですね、初日から見ててお気づきの方もいるかもしれませんが、今回から新しく、寄付時のコメントが、画面上に表示されるようになりました。ぜひ寄付時にメッセージを添えて、戦争者やその他参加者関係者への応援、RT の感想などを送ってみてください。
I didn't remember this fight being this long. Wow.
届くのかもしれません。
Shinobi just don't wanna
盛り上げて世界を救っていきましょ
die.
う。
Okay, so here it is. Yes, this was a mistake. I pressed the button because I wanted to jump, when usually I'd never jump here. But I pressed the wrong button, and so I entered the room. And yeah, this is a time loss. This is actively a time loss. This was a mistake. I thankfully managed to resolve it fast, despite not having a strength boost here. It was very sudden, but I'm glad. At least I immediately reacted correctly. I did not lose my mind. So I'm very happy with that one. Like, I immediately Yai attack, damage, and there we go. I also want to believe that this encounter is like at the lowest level you can have. Like, it's not supposed to be a long encounter. So I think this is why it was fine. And like, I didn't need to deal a ton of damage, like usual. And I tried to explain to Sawa, like, I said I pressed the button and it shouldn't have been.
ちょうど今画面に出ましたね。I love speed run と皆さん寄付ありがとうございます。
But yeah, I am... Now, some people might say, oh, this is where the run failed, because look what happened afterwards! Flying fish! I should have had the eye attack here. I should have been on good pace. Which is very unfortunate, and yes, I will agree. It is very unfortunate. It really came in at the worst time, but I will accept it. It had to happen. At some point there was gonna be a mistake. Because this run is not perfect. Now, some people might say, oh, this is where the run kind of died. No, I think that there's a clear moment where the run kind of lost PB pace at some point. And it's literally on Danzaburo. Because Danzaburo is terrible. But yeah, this is kind of unfortunate. I had the eye attack and then I wasted it on the samurai to go fast. Also, the flying fish do not get damaged by the eye attack if they're too far away from the screen, so it's actually... I need to wait. So it's very unfortunate that the flying fish literally came about right after this.
このね、ボス戦、ネタバレしちゃうんですけど、ボス戦前のセーブはセーブしてもそこにセーブがそこになるわけではなく別のところになります。
But to be honest, here, going in at 17, I am 17 minutes here, it's pretty okay. I would say that if I was trying to go for PB, I would probably want to be at 16 minutes into the entrance of Danzaburo. But 17 for like a run showcase, that was pretty good. That was like, I'm not gonna complain. Anyway, Haunted Mansion. Now, Haunted Mansion is terrible, and no one likes it. Danzaburo is literally one of the biggest jokes about my runs of Muramasa. Also, I never mentioned this, but I like to call those, like, Nadeshiko heads, like, Medusa heads. Because they feel so much like Medusa heads from Castlevania. And I don't know why. Also, yeah, so this is the main mistake in Danzaburo fight. I messed up the free cycle on the Oni. Here, the best strat is especially like taking advantage of this section, but I actually dealt so little damage on this second cycle. And then the third one was going to be a grab attack, so I couldn't make it up. And look at that. If I was slightly more efficient, I would have gone for 3 cycles. And I would have actually been on good pace. Here, because of that, if you do not get 3 cycles, you actually lose your strength boost as the Otoroshi appears. So it's actually a mandatory thing now to get 3 cycles on the Oni.
画面際でね攻撃してできるだけそこから動かないように倒していきます。はい、そして、おとろしとしりめですね。
Okay, so here, thankfully, both were very kind. Both Shirime just went into the fire, which I would not have wanted anything other than this. It was very good. I was very lucky they actually behaved together. And this is why I actually stay in the corner to actually have this strat, because it's very important. Okay, Otoroshi down, we're trying to set up the Shirime. I don't know why. Here I stopped attacking, but I'm still blocking. Also here, I'm making sure I'm not blocking, because if I do take any attacks while blocking, I am in danger. Like, I break my blade, which I do not want to do here. I want to... If I want to break a blade in this thing, this situation, I want to break it on the Rokurokubi at this point. Because I think now it's gonna be a strat to actually take a sword break on the Rokurokubi, because I have the benefit of being on Muso, and you have actually a Yai attack gauge boost when your blade breaks. So this is why it was actually a good thing for me to have my sword break, which I think nowadays, if I am doing a Rokurokubi fight, I am actively trying to break both my forms, so I can have more Yai attacks to survive the onslaught. I would need to see how it looks like in an actual run, but I'm really excited to implement this into actual things, because here you will see my gauge restores very slowly here, and I'm just thinking, damn, I wish I had I had Okoi. But I can have Okoi. I just need to break my blade and then play a little safe for a little bit, and then actually continue. So I actually try to manage both the heads here to kind of do this. And this is why I'm actively blocking here. I do not care. There we go. And you can see, like, it immediately gave me the EI attack. And also, my Okoi bar is very rapidly filling up. So I think it's actually a good strat for the boss fight. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, and here I have the monk one defeated. And let's defeat the courtesan. I think she's a courtesan. It's difficult to tell because she kind of has the traditional outfits of a courtesan. But yeah. And now, pretty simple, it's Danzaburo. We just do a lot of fighting on Danzaburo. Also, Danzaburo at one point also broke my form, which I was very pissed about in the practice, so I am glad I didn't get that during the run.
戦略的にダメージを与えるというのはあんまりせず、
Okay.
どんどんとダメージを与えていった方が早いです。で、これで残りわずかになりました。
And here's the final gauge, and there we go. 2244. That's not too bad. I love that you can hear the little claps in the background.
ダンザブローさんに景気をつけてもらいに来たんだと、景気をつけてもらいに来たんだとですね、言います。はい、この、屋敷は全部ダンザブローの作り物だと。ね。
Okay, I think I'm gonna let myself say it because this has been a good joke that I made during practice, and I want to share because here the dialogue is very simple. Is Okoi cannot do transformation like the Tanuki do because the balls. That's literally how it comes to be. And basically at that point I was kind of like, okay, obviously we're not going to talk about like testes on screen. But we did need to kind of explain what was happening. And at some point while we were talking, I suddenly said that Okoi was post-operation. Which somehow got everyone. Every time I said that line to people, they just completely lost it. But just as a proof, you can do very good jokes about trans people. Don't worry. Like you can make good jokes about being trans. You just need to be actually better about this. Yes, I know that the usual like joke is that Tanuki magic is thrown in the balls because that's what people go with. It's like a very noticeable line. But also, I'm gonna actually call on future comms. Please do not actively make jokes about the balls because it's not fun, and I think it's actually, you know, not we can have a little laugh, but at some point I feel like every time we do that joke, it kind of becomes kind of it's not really that funny anymore. And so this is why I like the I'm post-op, because it actually is indirectly a reference to, you know, she don't have them balls, and also we get to have a little fun time because I'm trans and I can say shit like that, and it's totally fine. But yeah, in general, I believe that the magic is stored in the balls is no longer that interesting. Maybe as a reference, like when in 1 year I do another run, but otherwise, yeah. Anyway, everyone loves the dances. I am so happy that I got the cat dances at the time.
ですね、新鮮のひょうたん、いわゆる霊薬を渡されます。これを飲めば望みは叶うと。しかしその望みが叶っていればただでは済まないと忠告を受けます。果たしてお声の望みは
forward. Here I don't usually take a cabbage here, but I was like, let's test it out. Which, yes, it is kind of silly to go, yeah, I'm gonna test out things out in the wild while doing the run, which is very silly. But yeah, at this point, pretty much like direct, it was probably the best time to do it. So yeah. Also, hi Pheasant. I did the quick kill on the pheasant! I am so happy I got the quick kill on the pheasant because this quick kill is like cool looking and also it's very odd. Oh, so here it is, like Sawa explaining why is it called like cabbage stew, which doesn't make sense apparently. Okay. Grey Shinobi are the worst. Every time I see Grey Shinobi, I am just angry because they're worse than the Blue Shinobi or the Black Shinobi. They're just not fun to fight. They want to teleport every time. Not fun.
この煙玉を落としてくれるとですね、戦闘から1回逃げられるのですが、それができなかったと。
Also, another flying fish.
ああ。欲しい。戦闘で居合切りがない。居合切りがない。ああ、居合切りがない。でも攻撃力も上がってるのでちょっとずつ倒していきます。そして居合切りが戦闘がもう数秒過ぎたところで倒れますと。はい。
Yes, we spent 16 seconds on that section. It was not fun. But it's okay.
と進んでいきましょう。また忍者戦ですね。ちょっとジュピさんの自己ベストの話をしたいと思います。
Oh yeah, that's true.
応募時は34分30。
So, at the time, yes, we barely got the 3356 PB, which was very, very impressive at the time. And I was super happy I got it, because it was literally live on stream. And I didn't think I would get sub 34 before RTA in Japan. And yeah, we had to mention it because it was very cool. And thank you, Sawa, for thinking about mentioning it.
3分で、自己ベスト兼世界記録だったのですがですね、実は本番前のリハーサルでジュピさんが34分18秒と世界記録を更新されました。そしてそこで2人で通話でもうずっと盛り上がってました。おお、世界記録だって。
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I need to mention this because Sawa just mentioned it. Yeah. So the world record was first beaten as a 34:18 when, and it was literally in the middle of practice, and I just out of nowhere at the end of the run, I yell, "That's world record! That's world record!" And I'm shaking, and I'm really shaking, because at that point I'm like, "Oh no, I am in way." I am stressing out, and Sawa was completely lost, and I was very... It was very silly.
盛り上がってました。これで本番も問題ないだろうと安心してたところですね。なんと、9日前に33分56と破壊的なタイムを出されてですね、このカテゴリーも33分台の魔境に入ってしまいました。果たしてこのカテゴリーはどこまで詰められていくのか、もしかしたら今日また更新されるのかもしれないですね。カッパ戦。
Papa, terrible.
攻撃力が上がっても飛び回られて戦いづらい。どんどんと右に進んでいきましょう。で、白菜。
We're slowly getting there.
この白菜鍋。
We're gonna continue forwards until we get to the end.
お声が言ってるんですよね。もちろんお声もね、化け猫でも猫なので肉打ちたいです。これが可愛いんですよ。アクション面もそうですけど、このゲームですね、キャラが良くて音楽も良くて、もちろん白菜などの話もしてますし、バニラ野菜、食事も美味そうで、終始楽しいゲームです。皆さん遊んでない方は今でも本編 DLC どちらもプレイステーションビータから、プレイステーションストア
Play this game. Play the video game. It's good. If you can't find it, just play it on speedrun. Play it on emulator. It's totally fine.
2段ジャンプで1と。で、ここも固定演歌です。2段ジャンプ1、2、3を飛ばしていきます。ここもね、奥に進んでいきましょう。奥に進むと左に行って、またエンカウント、白忍者ですね。火力が高い方の忍者戦です。倒せましたと。アイテムは落としてくれない。煙玉落としてくれないですね。ただ琥珀の勾玉を落としてくれたのは嬉しいので、まああんま悪くはないかなってくらいですかね。
Also, we finally got a smoke bomb here, which was way too late.
これをどこで使うかが肝になってきますね。まだいた。
Also, yes, I completely forgot that there was another one for some reason.
どんどん進んでいきましょう。いや見てたら白菜の食べたくなってきた。ここでですね、魂をちょっとずつ、集めますね。はい。この魂がですね、最後で、どれぐらいだっけ？最後で1849あれば、このね、攻撃力をまた2回強化できて、合計プラス34強化できるのですが、それがなければ、足りなければプラス18できますと。あんま悪くない。で、ここで
I am very glad that I got the smoke bomb though.
うまく回ったようだ。
very clean
変
throughout.
化はないですね。はい。というわけで、目的地に着き
Another sigh of relief that I don't have anything else other than Shigematsu.
料理白菜鍋を作って、はい。で、ここで、
Also here, little mistake. I should have just gone checked beforehand.
攻撃力プラス7の、はい、攻撃力プラス10、プラス18で、これで全部です。
Yeah.
準備万端。ついに若宮の元へと到達したおこい。そしてですね、そちらの懐に入ろうとします。するとですね、なぜか操作キャラが、新左衛門になります。ここだけ
Now we have Shinzaemon.
操作キャラがおこいがから変わります。本当なんでこの耳と尻尾気づかないんでしょうね。次に進みましょう。ただですね、新左衛門ずっと根こそぎ村正のつばなりがやまぬと不穏そうなことを言うと、なんとですね、実はですね、お声ではなくお声に化けた三毛猫でした。
I kind of like how Sawa went on this one. We kind of joked at the end that it was basically kind of trying to make it so that I was like, it was kind of, oh no, Wakamiya, no, you don't do like, remove, he has AirPods in his ears. Okoi is a bakeneko, she is not. Don't you see the cat ears and the cat tail? It was very ridiculous. Anyway, now Shigematsu fight. As always, Shigematsu fight always works like this. You sword break 3 times to get rid of the mob, the additional mobs, and then you just wail on the guy. So this is why I'm actively aiming for Shigematsu. Also, here I'm pressing buttons so loud. I am so noticing it.
空中コンボをどんどんと当てていきます。いいですね。空中コンボ当てて。
Also here, that was very close. If the blade was longer, like if I hadn't broken the blade, he would have got me, which was very funny. Also, I do believe that the like blade return is based on damage, but like on the yellow bar. It is not an actual like orange bar requirement, because I think that every time like it's pretty much as fast as like in the next like bar or something damage. It's difficult to tell. I think I need more testing on Shigematsu for this.
空中でコンボ当てていって、でノートをしました。はい。逃げて、おっと一気に霊力ゲージ上見ると削られましたね。一気に3分の1ぐらいかな、削れました。ちょっと危ないけど、このための琥珀の間が友でもあります。
Okay, nice dodge. Damn, I'm going so fast. Shigematsu is always so cool to watch.
根こそぎ村正を割りたい。と思ってたらこっちが割れました。
Also, this was very close. This was a very cool moment. That one was less cool, but it's okay. I got the EI to cover the rest of the enemies, so it was fine. Also here, spending time in Avatar is always a good thing. Especially considering Shigematsu was actually kind and stayed in the Pillar of Flame.
なので、ミキの姿で戦っていきます。あ、溜まりました。 これでここに持って居合切りを出して、ここからは1対1一騎打ちです。あ、痛い。ちょっと痛い。
And now we're just continuing. There's nothing else to do other than lots of slashing, lots of fighting. Yeah. I hope people enjoyed the run when it was live, because it was a very fun time to just work on it.
これはあと3回ぐらいかな、やれば終わりじゃないかな。居合切りを出します。居合切りを出しまして、どんどんと攻撃を当てていきましょう。もう一丁空中コンボ当てていきます。そちらに一瞬も
Doing damage. I enjoy doing comms for ESR. Yeah. I wanted to use the ESR run, but also I think it would have covered the, like, they don't do a lot of editing. It's almost like the entire conversation plus the run, the conversation pre-run and everything, so this is why I wanted to do it, but also I didn't want the commentary to be this long. Oh, it's already very long. Yeah.
で、居合切りも溜まりました。居合切りをして、で、これもうすぐタイマーストップです。これをもう2回削れば終わりですね。
I have 2 bars. Here's the final gauge. Let's go.
で、そちらが納刀しました。で、居合切りからのそちらのね。
Also here, I was very safe. I did not want to get hit here.
ここで最後のサリクを削り切りたい。削り切りたい。
Also, that was a fight, this one. I was very fearful. But here it was, 34-35, which, at first, Sawa thought it was a 34-33 because it was, clipped late. And, like, it was timed late, but also the time started way late, so I'm correct in saying that it's a 34-35. But yeah, to be honest, like 34-35 is literally almost close to my PB at the before I even like did practice for RTA in Japan. It was literally my PB at the time of submission, so it was very cool. Also here, it's a general tradition. I go to the cat dance scene, so I'm gonna quickly do some shoutouts as we get to the cat dance scene. First of all, big thanks to Sawayoshi for doing the Japanese commentary. Super kind of them to say, hey, if you get picked, and you ask me for comms, I would love to do it, which was very cool. I am very happy also Sawa was very good at just learning the things and like finding, like I even found some resources that I did not find myself, so I'm very happy to have them on comms. And also kind of helping me with things, and also we were talking about ESR a lot. Very glad to have met the people at ESR because gave me the energy to submit at RTA in Japan. I want to thank Lucifer, you're in the chat, for doing comms in English on Muramasa. Very fun times. I hope that people enjoyed the English restream of the run because it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Also, big thank you to everyone at RTA in Japan, doing immense, like, tremendously good work, especially at this time of the year. People don't do, like, people are often taken by, like, work or other things. Also, yes, this was a technical issue. This was not on my end. This was their end. And Sawa thankfully like just came out of there and like filled in some time.
Do you have anything? Where can people find you, basically?
Before we get to see more cat dance, but people can find me at twitch.tv/goodfangies. That's where you are right now. No, but for real, like people at RTA in Japan, despite the tech issues, I am so glad that nothing happened during the run. Because this run is super clean, and I'm very happy. This is like the best showcase of the run I've done in my entire like speedrunning marathon career, if I can even call it career. But yeah, it was a very good showcase. So yeah, big love to the RTA in Japan crew. Very fun to work with them. I would love to submit and get into another marathon. They have already announced a little bit of like what they're doing for summer, which is not going to be a traditional marathon this time. So apparently they do need like a little bit of time to work on things, so they're gonna be doing something fully online and like is based on other events. So you will have to see. Yeah, and also big love to all the cats in the world. Love your pets, and I always love Larry, and I'm very happy. But yeah, for real, I want this game to be in more marathons. Please pick the freaking game up. I want to be the first PS Vita game run at the GDQ event, even if it's Fatales. You need to let me run the Catgirls live on stage. GDQ? Even if I'm online, it's fine. Alright, so the video is over. And yeah, with this, that's gonna be my commentary. Thank you for watching. It was a lot of fun. I'm really happy. I'm gonna put back the video just as a safe, just so that people don't get an empty screen the entire time. But yeah, super happy to have done this run. Very, very excited. I hope this commentary kind of gave a bit more of an insight on how everything happened. And I hope you enjoy your time. Also, don't forget to subscribe and everything, because YouTube, fun times. If you want more Muramasa, it's gonna come pretty soon. I do want to work on second ending and a foot tour category, so I am very excited. Yeah, bye-bye.